Welcome to Bed and Butter, the hospitality podcast, designed exclusively for budding students and aspiring industry leaders. We're thrilled to embark on this exciting journey with you. Each episode, we'll delve into the heart of hospitality industry with your host, Sean Riley, uncovering invaluable insights, trends, and strategies to not only succeed, but thrive in this dynamic field. The podcast is produced in collaboration with Southern Maine Community College. Listen to national leaders highlight opportunities for the active hospitality professional, students of SMCC's Culinary Arts program, as well as the L. Joe Van Wy School of Hospitality. This program is a labor of love, made possible with the help of the Communications and New Media Studies students. Whether you're sharpening your skills or stepping into the world of hospitality for the first time, Bed and Butter is your go-to resource. So let's dive in and spread the knowledge, one episode at a time. Welcome to Bed and Butter, the hospitality podcast. Today, we'll give the audience a chance to know the host of this podcast, Sean Riley. Sean's a former teacher and coach turned hotel guy and has been in the business for over 40 years. From the humble beginnings of a 19-room motel called Slumberland to a hotel executive of a national company, Sean has done everything from plunging toilets and making beds to cooking and washing dishes. He is currently Chief Executive Officer of Maine Hospitality Group with over 750 associates and dozens of hotels across the East Coast. Sean is known for his sense of humor and willingness to be there for his people. He often explains that his purpose and that of Maine Course is to positively impact lives. Let's get to know him first and set the stage for his many exciting guests. So sit back, relax, and get inspired. Hey, Sean, I'm excited to be here to help you introduce Bed and Butter. For our listeners' benefit, my name is Jamie Mulley, Corporate Director of Operations for Maine Course Hospitality Group. I've worked with Sean for over 25 years, and today we're going to have some fun. So let's dive right in. Sean, why don't you tell me about the purpose of this podcast?
Oh, Jamie, I'm excited about it. I think to begin with, the purpose of this really is to help people who are thinking about our industry, whether it be high school kids, students, or college students, or people in the entry-level positions within our industry, whether it be housekeeping or front desk or lead managers, really to say, hey, how can I get somewhere? You know, I've been fortunate enough over my career to get to know a lot of very successful people around the country. And with that, I really want to be able to share those relationships, that networking piece that I've been able to enjoy for so many years over my 40 years of this business, and be able to share it with a lot of the younger people aspiring to be something in our industry. So that really is the purpose, to get the word out and to get a chance for them to know. So when we pulled it together, I'm thinking, well, how the heck do you do this? And part of it was the affiliation with Southern Maine Community College. And they happen to have a hospitality program that's well known. They happen to have a communications department, and they happen to have a new media department. So we thought, what better way than bringing all those different vehicles together and producing a podcast, ultimately to help our industry and to help students and young people in our industry, but also to help people who are putting together podcasts and help people who are putting together the marketing. So it really was an integral part of pulling something together like this. And I'm excited about it. And I think I can't wait to share a lot of my friends that we've had over the years.
Thank you for that overview. We're going to circle back on that a little bit later. Let's catch the listeners up on your career path. Did you really start at a 19-room motel at the beginning of your hospitality career?
Yes. Before that, I probably stayed in one 19-room motel in Canada. That's the only time I'd ever been in the business. So I did. I started at a 19-room motel, Slumberland Motel. Now that goes to show the age. The key cards, not even key cards. It was metal cards, metal keys. And it was pretty cool to start there. I did maintenance, and my wife did housekeeping and was the brains of the operation and the accounting and record keeping. I painted, I scraped, I did all that stuff. But that was the start of my career. But then I took it from there, and I went to a little larger place and another larger place to a full service hotel. All of this is while I was teaching. I was a former teacher, a high school special ed teacher. So I've got some experiences along the way, but then my career continued to grow. I came to Freeport, met up with some guys that are great partners today. We were a restaurant company. We developed a hotel company from scratch with one hotel. And I was a lonely front office manager when they came in. And I grew through the company to multiple ranks within the company to now today as the CEO of a company that's 700 associates and over 25 hotels in the Northeast and East Coast for that matter. And so my career has taken a lot of different directions, and none of it was absolutely planned. So I guess really the reason I go back to the purpose of the podcast is to be able to share some of my experiences, but even more so, people with far greater experiences, higher levels of company, and people who are just maybe starting in their careers. So a lot of cool things, both in the hotel side and the restaurant side. And our hopes are that people will get inspired and maybe go a little further than they might think they can go, because they can see someone like a guy who scraped paint and mowed lawns at a 19-room motel become CEO of a company that's over $100 million company.
Excellent. It's interesting to hear your analogy around the guest room key card and what used to be a brass key. I don't think when I started that we had brass keys, Sean. So there. Why don't you tell me what you've learned that helped you become a CEO from the days of the brass key to today's?
Well, from the brass keys, it's not just brass keys. There was no computer system. It was all done with the chart and tape system. So again, I'm showing my age, but I think the experience that I have has been that I've evolved as a person. I evolved from the brass key to the card key to digital key. And I think anybody in our industry is able to evolve, can continue to be active and be good. So I'm not ready to go out to pasture at this point. But what I do also realize is that you have to be relevant. And I think I learned that over the years, is that you've got to stay relevant. Yeah, I was a young kid mowing a lawn when I was at the 19-room motel. But, I still had guests to deal with, and I still had associates to deal with, although we had two associates back in those days, up to 750 now. But, those same things, the same principles that we did back then in those early years made a difference in my life, because I realized how important those key aspects are, the associates and the guest. Now, my job entails a lot more than that today, but I couldn't be where I am today had I not really realized the value of what people in our industry, our associates, do for us. So other things I've learned is that you need to take care of people. And goes back to the same thing, guests and associates. If we take care of our guests, if we take care of our associates, the associates will take care of our guests, and then they'll keep coming back. And that doesn't matter whether you've got a 19-room motel or you've got 25 hotels across the East. So I think those things, it doesn't really matter who you are or what you do. So no matter where your career goes, and if you're in the restaurant business, same thing, take care of your associates, they take care of the customers, and the customers will keep coming back. So I think those are some of the things I learned that I think were critical.
Sean, last question around your career. I think you started actually as a teacher. Is that correct?
I did. I started as a high school special ed teacher, and I taught while I was running motels, and it was still motels at that time. I taught high school special ed, kids with learning problems.
And so let's just pivot a little bit to your affiliation with SMCC. It's a good segue, having been a teacher, to talk a little bit about SMCC.
Well, I think an awful lot. One of the things I learned as a teacher, which probably has helped me in my life, is that everybody learns a different way. And it doesn't matter whether you're a front desk associate, housekeeper, they learn a different way. And that's because of my special ed training. It's the same thing with general managers. Every one of the general managers in our company learn or do things differently. You have to get to know them. So I think that's something I learned. And my affiliation with SMCC is that I sat on a number of boards with them over the last 30 years in our industry in this area. And it was important. Our family set up a scholarship we felt was really important to give back. We've found some level of success in this industry, and so we gave back to a scholarship program here. But it just got me thinking. I said, geez, what else can we do? How can we get the word out about how great our industry is, and how exciting a career it can be for someone, whether it be someone starting off in high school, working in a restaurant or working in a hotel, to going to maybe further their education at a school like SMCC or a full 4-year college of, Husson or Cornell. All of those things can happen. And I think, to me, it's exciting to maybe inspire some people to do more than they are today. And some of our guests have had that education in those fields. Some have not. Some have just had a business degree and evolved into this hotel industry. So it's exciting for me to be able to do that. And so the SMCC catch for me was that I already had affiliations with them. I saw a vehicle that we could make our industry better through students and through a school. And so I'm excited to maybe take that. But again, they're not gonna be learning from me. I mean, today's the only day they're gonna hear from me. They're gonna be learning from some real icons in this industry. And one of being Jamie Mulley. You're gonna be one of my people. You started in your career and bussing tables and bartending, and to where you are today as a partner in the company, a partner in hotels and ownership piece. So I think it's really cool to see the evolution of people in this industry and what's out there for others. So I'm excited to share this kind of information with our audience.
Sean, you say audience. Who is the target audience?
Well, it's like in the hotel business, anybody's money's green. So it doesn't really matter. Anybody can listen to this. I think what's exciting though is that we're kind of aiming this at someone young, to be inspired, not necessarily young either, someone who's new in the industry or someone who's thinking about the industry, to maybe inspire them and give them hope that there's a career, a long path career, not just a flipping burgers or making beds. There's a career involved in this if they so choose. It's a great career just to do those things too. But there are opportunities beyond that. And a lot of the guests that we'll have involved from the head of operations for Concord Hospitality, which is not probably close to $1 billion company with 3,500 associates, to someone like yourself, to someone who's running a hotel of 25 people. So there's all kinds of opportunity for people, and I'd love to have that come across and have them share. And that's really why we're doing this. And I think to me, that's a pretty cool thing.
It is. Well, all about the part where you interview me. Tell me, Sean, you've already let the cat out of the bag on two of your future guest speakers. So who are you going to invite to this podcast?
Well, Mr. Marriott has not said yes yet, nor has Chris Nassetta from Hilton. I don't know if they'll be partnering in this, but I think, from senior executives within the brands to, as I said, to associates. I had some guy, he's a professor at a college. He runs a hot dog stand, a chef. And so we want to get both sides of the industry. That's where the name Bed and Butter comes from. The bed as in the hotel and the butter as in the culinary arts. So there'll be people from both sides of that title. There's someone who's going to talk about wellness in the business. It's a hard business, and we've got to make sure that we take care of ourselves. Maybe some of us have been around for a while, have a different mindset, and we need to focus on the people who are coming out of the industry, not coming into the industry now, and how their lives have to be important to them, and they have to take care of their lives. And we're going to talk about that with this person. So I'm really excited about the people that we have and the level of people we have. So, and actually a couple of locals, you being one, someone in Portland, a GM of a company, is exciting young person getting into the business. So we've got young, we've got seasoned, we've got experience, we've got nationwide, and it'll only go from there.
Well, it sounds like you have a great pool of talent for your future episodes. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your perspective on future leaders and tell our listeners what it takes to be a good leader?
Well, Jamie, this is a passion of mine, and I won't get into it too much because I think I don't want to say everything now. People won't listen to the rest of the podcast, the series. But I think, to me, you've got to care about people. You've got to have compassion. And when I'm looking for a leader, I'm looking for someone who cares about their associate or cares about the guest. And if that's not there, I mean, you can teach someone how to check someone in, or someone how to run a P&L, or how to look at a balance sheet. And that can be taught. But what can't be taught is how you care about people and how you have compassion for people. So I would say, to me, if you're looking to be a leader, you've got to think of that first. Back to the thing I mentioned earlier, was you've got to take care of your associates. They'll take care of the guests, and the guests will keep coming back. Well, if you're a leader who's leading people that are taking care of the guests, you've got to care about your associates. And I think that's a passion of mine personally, and as our company. We want to positively impact lives. And if someone comes in and they're a graduate of this great high-end college, and they know how to run a balance sheet and they do all that, but they don't care about the housekeeper, they're not going to roll up their sleeves and help them strip a bed or check a guest in, or flip an egg in the restaurant. That's probably not someone who we need. That's me personally. Some companies like that. So to me, that's what I see in leadership, is to care about the people, to take care of them.
And Sean, what does success look like to you?
Well, I think it varies. It depends. It can be a personal success, or there can be professional success. I think a personal success is someone who can take care of themselves and believe in themselves, And when you look beyond the people that are the naysayers, you shouldn't be doing this. I mean, when it comes right down to it, I probably shouldn't be CEO of a company. I don't have the smarts for that. But I didn't listen to people who said I couldn't, or people who led me to believe I couldn't. I listened to people who believed in me. And so to me, success at this stage of my career is that I want to believe in some people and I want to help them reach their goals. And when I see someone, and I hope they stay with our company, but if they don't, I feel really good that they've reached a level of success. And, some of those people who left and got a better level of success came back. So I feel even better. So that's a real success to me. But if I can have a company, to me, professionally, if our company can live and breathe with or without Sean Riley, I think that's to me is a level of success that I will feel forever grateful for, is that I've created an environment where people can grow and learn and get better. And I think our company has done that, but I'm not done yet. And I don't think our company's done yet.
Well, I'm counting on that. What brings you the most joy in life, Sean, both personally and professionally?
Well, I got a little note from my grandson yesterday. It said, "I love you, Pop. Have a God day." I mean, he missed the second O, but he just did that on his own, and that was caring. And I go back to the same thing. What I write notes to a lot of our people, and I think I know it's a good thing, and I know I like it, and I do it. But when I got that note yesterday, it just reinforced the fact that, and he didn't learn that from me, or maybe he did, but what really means a lot to me is that hit me right in the soul. And I'm thinking, you know what? When I send a note to someone or a birthday card or a call, and that does that same feeling that I got yesterday, wow, that to me is brings joy when I know that there's some happiness there. So, and I think my professional and personal, they're the same. You got to do the same things, whether it's your family or not. You can't forget your family, and when you're working, it's important. It's okay to write home sometime. And that's what I learned too. I don't send my grandkids a note. So the next time I travel, I'm sending a postcard. I think personal joy is feeling close to the family and watching their successes. And professional, it's the same thing. It's knowing I did something to help create an environment where they could grow and get better and see them flourish.
Is that what you would say you are most proud of in your career, or is it something else?
I think creating an environment here, a culture, and I think culture is a word that will probably pop up a number of times in our podcast series, but culture is really important, whatever culture you choose to work in and whatever culture you as a company want to create. But to me, our culture, that main course, is something that I'm really proud of. And I didn't do it myself, but I was part of it. And I think that to me is a great joy. And it's something I'm really proud of, is that I've been part of creating a culture with 750 associates, not just senior leaders, CFO, CEO, president, and all that. It's far beyond that. And if I step away from this today, that culture is going to survive. And I usually say, if I get hit by a bus, but I know Jamie always gets pissed when I say that. I'm not going to get hit by a bus, but at some point, if Sean steps back or something's different, it's going to stay that culture. And that to me is a sign of a great culture, is that when a senior leader can step away and it's going to be just as good, if not better.
Well, that's great, Sean. You spoke about culture, and I know from being here that is so important to our organization. One of our core values is fun. And I certainly know better than most that you are not a stick in the mud. So why don't you talk a little bit about fun and how you incorporate fun into our environment?
Well, you're right. I'm not the stuffy corporate exec. I think when I went to work, I worked with both Marriott and Hilton on committees, and I think one of the things they enjoy most is that main course people are not stuffy. We're not sticking to muds. We like to have a good time, and I think there's a bit of that in the corporate world that maybe downplays that. But I'll tell you, they have fun with it. We, as a company, we create videos, and I'm often in them. And Jamie, actually, you helped me with one of them where I did an infomercial and I was putting on makeup, and you helped me with that. And I still use that picture. People just do not see that in a corporate executive. But I think we do videos, we have fun, we go around, we joke, we enjoy each other's company. And when we were trying to come up with our culture and our core values of respect, integrity, family, and then fun, those are our core values. And that fun part is, I almost said, okay, I'm okay with everything we've said, but we can't take fun out of it, because that's what we are. That's what I am. And I can't go to work and not have fun. So, I mean, it's nothing particular other than we just like to have a good time. And no one knows sometimes whether I'm serious or not. I'll give you one last thing. We had a senior executive from a brand who was going to be turned to be pet friendly. Now that senior executive was very strong in doing this pet thing, and I wasn't excited about it, but I went along with it when I found out we could make money with it. But when she came to visit our hotel, we happened to put in dog poop on her bed, and it says, "Welcome to the X brand. Enjoy your stay." And it was dog poop, rubber dog poop. Well, that person now has sent that to the CEO of that company. They've sent it all around the company, and they remember us for poop. I mean, I guess that's not the greatest thing, but it just goes to show that it doesn't matter what level people are, they love to have fun. And if you can do that and create that environment, you're going to have happy associates. And when you have happy associates, you're going to have happy guests. And at the end of the day, we're all going to make more money.
Indeed. And Sean, do you have any last words of wisdom or advice before we wrap up this podcast?
I do. Take care of your people. Be compassionate and create an environment around you that's open and that people want to be around you. And when you do that, you're going to go further. And I think you've got a network. If you're a young person, you've got a network. And I've had a chance to talk with students about that. I've given them my phone number. I've given them my email, and they stay in touch with me. And now that's the way I've grown through my career. I didn't have a Cornell grad. I didn't even have an SMCC graduate degree, but I did find a way to get to know people and then work with them and become friends and help them. And then someday that all pays off. So I guess network, care about the people, and have some fun.
Well, thank you, Sean. It's been a pleasure being here with you, and I appreciate the opportunity to allow our listeners to get to know you a little bit more around your bed and butter hosting. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Bed and Butter, the hospitality podcast produced in partnership with Southern Maine Community College. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so that you don't miss any episodes, and have a butterful day.